In this video, I'm going to share with you the 18 most profitable high-level features and services that you should be offering at your digital agency in 2025. And I'm going to show you exactly how to package them, and I'm going to show you how to sell them. These services can all be sold at very low price points, but also have very high margins. They generate very automated recurring revenue, and they're very sticky services, meaning that your customers are going to stay with you for a long time once they're using them. That's why all 18 of these features are very profitable and the ones that you really want to focus on in developing your service packages and growing your business. We're going to cover a lot of ground, so this is going to be a bit longer video, but I think you'll find it really valuable if you watch the whole thing through. My name is Mike. I'm the founder of servicesthatscale.com. If you're not familiar with me, I have built two multi-seven-figure service businesses selling to the small business community, one in IT services and one in marketing services. I was on the Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing companies in America 3 years in a row, and I was able to sell one of those businesses for a multi-seven-figure exit. I share all that with you just so you have some context to know that what I'm sharing with you in these videos is based on my experience actually building businesses and is not just theory. To be clear and completely transparent, I am an affiliate of HighLevel, which means that I do get compensated if somebody signs up for HighLevel through me or upgrades their account through me. In exchange for that compensation, I provide training, resources, and a private community where I help agencies use HighLevel to build a successful business. Now let's get back to the content of the video. All right, the first thing that I want to stress here before we really get into the presentation is that I am actually very anti-agency. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the traditional agency model, if you're selling to small businesses, it typically includes a lot of custom services where you're really leveraging your time and talent and effort on behalf of your clients, but you're not building any real asset for yourself. And I mentioned the word clients. You have to have clients, which I have a philosophy. I want customers, not clients in my businesses. What's the difference? A customer is somebody who buys something, spends the money, uses the product, they're happy with it, or they're not, they may return it, versus a client is needy. They feel like they can demand things from you. They feel like they can call you on your cell phone at night and ask you why projects aren't done and withhold payment from you until things are just right. You shouldn't build a business around clients, particularly when you're dealing with small businesses, because they just don't have enough money to pay you to make it worth it. So I am actually really against the typical agency model. And this is one of the most important lessons that I learned in building my businesses very early, and I'm grateful that I did. And I learned it from this guy, Warren Buffett, who I'm sure you're familiar with. And he said that you don't get any extra credit in business for degree of difficulty. What does that mean? What that means is you don't get extra points for having a hard business model. So why do that? Why make it any harder on yourself than necessary? The typical agency model is a hard business model. That's why HighLevel is so important to this industry, because it's allowing us to have a different business model. So what do you do instead? I call it an MSP, a marketing systems provider, instead of an agency. Now, what's the difference? The difference is that you're going to deliver a marketing system as a service. Now, what is a system versus normal agency services? Okay, in this industry, we have those agencies that I've already talked about. They're doing the custom services. You're trying to charge $2,500 a month, or you may hear people out there saying that they're charging $10,000 a month, or they did a $35,000 custom website design project, and it sounds so sexy because it's nice money, right? The unfortunate reality is if you're selling to small businesses, those agencies never work in the long term. They almost are never actually really profitable at all. And that's why the agency industry, when delivering services to small businesses, really has not taken off until HighLevel's come around. And what HighLevel has done is the other end of the spectrum. They've given us amazing tools. We now have these incredible tools that we can offer our customers. The problem is that a lot of agencies are out there offering HighLevel tools now just as tools. Tools are very commoditized. We all have access to HighLevel now. There's thousands of agency partners that are working with HighLevel, and you're competing against venture-backed software companies that are selling tools that have tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars to burn to acquire customers. What you should be offering is instead systems. which are kind of a combination of tools and agency. You're leveraging the tools to give your business better margins and more automation in your service delivery, but you're also layering on top of those tools some service and some assets that you've developed in terms of websites, landing pages, campaigns, and things like that are specifically designed for your small business customer, so that instead of having to learn all of those tools themselves, they can just turn on your system and take advantage of the capability of those tools, but by also leveraging the insights and the knowledge that you're bringing in terms of marketing knowledge and experience, and applying that to those tools to create a complete system. By doing this, you can charge significantly higher prices than just tools. You can charge significantly lower prices than typical agency services because you're taking advantage of HighLevel's tools to deliver these services in a more automated way. But you can have better margins and long-term recurring revenue because you've hit that sweet spot in terms of price point and capabilities that you're delivering to these small business customers. When you get this right, it is a much better business model. You're going to have a business that you're selling productized services instead of custom services. It's based on what I call assets, access, and activities. The assets being the complete system that you've put together. Access, they're paying you a monthly fee to access that system. They're not paying for you to do a custom project and then go away. They're paying for access to that system. And then activities are those marketing activities that you may help them with on top of that set of tools to make sure that they're actually getting the full benefit of these services. Most small businesses aren't going to sit down at HighLevel and know how to use it themselves. You can offer a layer of services on top to help them. Maybe you do their social posting for them. Maybe you send out a newsletter for them. There's a whole lot of things that you could potentially do that are included in that activities. It's simply a better business model. And if you look at the companies that have actually succeeded in this industry, you'll see what I'm talking about. Demandforce was kind of like the OG of these MSPs. And they sold for about $300 million to Intuit relatively quickly after their founding, and they're still out there today. They're a great example of what I'm talking about. They have this technology that they've developed, a set of tools, but they are tailoring it to specific industries, and they are delivering a layer of assets and services on top of the technology to make it specific and make it valuable for each one of those particular industries. And then there's businesses like Pop Menu. Pop Menu raised money at a $525 million valuation, I think about a year ago. And these guys are doing, as a core offer, websites for restaurants. Now, on top of the websites, they're also offering the ability to do digital menus, digital ordering, some marketing automation. So they're tailoring the technology of their solutions specifically to those small mom and pop restaurants, doing it at a flat monthly fee, getting that recurring revenue for years and years from these customers. It is a much better business model. Okay, so I'm sure you're wondering now, well, what are the 18 services that you can offer through HighLevel that are going to be the best for this type of model? So let's go ahead and go through them. These are all high margin systems-based automated services that are going to generate recurring revenue. The first one is a website and hosting. And I know that doesn't sound very sexy, but websites are still the foundation of how businesses represent themselves online. And the numbers around website development and hosting are actually incredible. It's a huge market. It's still growing very quickly because lots of new businesses are getting started every year and they need new websites. And the far majority of small businesses have terrible websites that are not really functional. And so there's a lot of money being spent to develop new websites. Now, the way that I teach to do this is to actually offer the website for free or very low cost as a foot in the door, and then just charge them for monthly hosting and access to more high-level features. I have a wonderful customer that I just met at the HighLevel Summit this year in Dallas, Texas, and he's now doing enough recurring revenue just from that one offer that he's hit his escape velocity point in terms of income, where his monthly recurring revenue coming in is greater than all of his expenses, and it's just offering this very simple service. Now, of course, I'm not making any promises. Those results are not necessarily typical. He's a hustler, but it's a great model. I love it, and it's been very effective for me and others. Next is doing list building. List building I'm not talking about doing expensive lead generation where you're doing fancy campaigns for them. I'm talking about just helping them build a list from their existing traffic. Any business that's out there has people visiting their website, and most small businesses are terrible about having opt-ins or any sort of lead capture on their site. You can just set up very simple features using HighLevel. I call it welcome mat features. You just want to roll out that welcome mat for people who come to your website and make some sort of offer to get them to opt in to build your list. Again, most small businesses are not doing this, and they're missing out on the biggest opportunity to increase the value of their business and make their marketing easier, which is to simply build a list and follow up with it. Third is AI voice. The inbound capability of AI voice that HighLevel has built into the system now, rolling out in late 2024, is absolutely incredible. I think this is going to be the single sexiest feature to sell and to highlight in 2025 because it is so powerful for small businesses in that it's going to save them money. They don't have to have people now answering those phones, but it's also going to make them more money because the average small business is missing over 50% of their inbound phone calls, which means they're missing over half of their opportunities. So you're going to help them capture those opportunities again. It's an incredible service. And then AI voice outbound. This is not yet available, but when it is available, it's going to be incredible. Even just for things like appointment reminders and letting existing customers know about special offers. But there's also going to be the ability to use this to do outbound prospecting. That's going to be a really, really valuable service. AI chat, another very high margin automated service that is absolutely incredible. I use AI chat now all the time at my businesses, and I'm blown away by the quality of conversations that it's having with my prospects and customers. It's like I just got a whole nother member of my sales team without having to pay them. It's going to be an incredibly valuable service for small businesses. Missed call text back. If you've been in the HighLevel community at all here over the last couple of years, you know what a great service this is. When a small business misses that call, you can do a text back to make sure that that small business is engaging with whoever it was that made that call and try and get them back into communication. Very similar to the value proposition of AI voice inbound, but a little bit different delivery mechanism, and they both have real value. Number 7 is universal inbox. This is what I refer to for the whole messaging capability inside of HighLevel, where you've got this one conversations view where you can have conversations with your prospects no matter what channel it is that they're communicating through. That's incredibly valuable for small businesses because most small businesses are not checking their Instagram messages. They're not checking their Facebook messages. They're not getting to their phone calls in time. They're missing all kinds of opportunities. This gives them a much easier way to make sure that somebody is following up with all of that communication. Call tracking and reporting for businesses that rely on heavy use of the phones, incredibly valuable. 9, review generation. Again, I met a gentleman at the summit this year in Dallas, Texas, 23 years old. He's already doing over $20,000 a month in recurring, and all he's offering is a very, very simple, low price review generation service. This kid by next year, I imagine at the summit, he'll be making $100,000 a month just doing this very simple service. Payment and invoicing systems. Number 10, small businesses are terrible at cash flow management. You can literally change a business's profitability and trajectory just by helping them make sure that they are actually collecting payment when they're supposed to be collecting payment. And you can help them do that with a variety of HighLevel features, invoices, tap to pay, point of sale, text to pay links. There's all these incredible ways that you can help them speed up their cash flow, which is the critical thing for small business survival. SMS and email, we can mark up the SMS and email and resell it in HighLevel, just like we can do that now with the AI capabilities. This is just kind of a bread and butter capability of HighLevel that every small business will be taking advantage of if you have them on these other services. So you can mark it up and make money completely passively just based on their use of that system. Hosted calendars. The ability to very quickly jump online and book an appointment with a small business has become an expectation for consumers now, but so many small businesses still do not have this technology, or they've got poor technology, or they can't set it up exactly to match the capabilities of their business. HighLevel's hosted calendars are incredible now. They've got a lot of sophistication to them, so you can really make them work to help businesses sell and book people onto their calendar and book a variety of different types of services very efficiently and profitably. Appointment reminders. This is absolutely essential to get people to actually show up to those appointments. You got to send reminders. You got to do it in an automated, consistent way. So having that in place. Number 14, lead nurturing campaigns. The statistics around how effective businesses are at following up with leads and opportunities is pretty horrifying. Most make one attempt and that's it. You got to show them how to nurture those leads with some basic automated workflows and campaigns. Set that up once in HighLevel and then just let it run for these customers, and it can change the economics of their business. Funnels as a service. We all know what funnels are, and we all know how important it is to conceptualize and design a funnel for it to be profitable. But again, most small businesses are never going to do this. They're not going to sit around and study this. So you can design these best practice funnels and just offer those as a part of your service. So they're paying a monthly fee to get access to those funnels that you know work in their industry and that you continually test and optimize and improve, rather than trying to rely on a small business to get those skills and to get that knowledge to be able to do that themselves when it's just not going to happen. 16, citation update services. This is using Yoast, which you have the ability to resell through HighLevel. It's a great service and it's a very valuable service for small businesses to help them with their online reputation and their SEO. Reactivation and resale campaigns, incredibly important for those businesses that have been very dormant in their marketing. They're not really following up with any of their past customers. You can help them get a really nice surge in business just by getting them reactivated in marketing to their customers. And then finally, 18, SEO. This is a major announcement that HighLevel made this year, is that they are now going to have SEO capabilities in the system here in early 2025, maybe even late 24, that are going to be best in class in the industry to be able to serve small businesses with a very automated SEO service that's going to be very effective. I'm incredibly excited about this service because SEO has typically been something that I've avoided as a service for my customers because it's too hands-on, it's too black box, and now we're going to have these incredible tools and capabilities that we can use to deliver SEO services very efficiently and very profitably at the right price points. Okay, so that's 18 features and 18 services that you can offer through HighLevel. These are all high margin. You can sell them at pretty low price points. They generate recurring revenue and they're sticky services. And most importantly, these are not time and talent services. So you're not doing custom things. What you're doing is you're putting a system in place for your customers, and you're selling these capabilities as part of that system and letting it do its magic for your customers month after month, year after year. Okay, now I want to walk you through how you want to sell these features and services. There's a handful of really big mistakes that agencies are making when they're selling HighLevel and they're selling their services in general. One is that you are selling HighLevel's features. You're selling it as if it's a tool, as if these small businesses should be impressed by this big long list of features that most of them honestly don't understand, and most of them have no idea how to use and don't want to take the time to know how to use. So it's a mistake to get caught up in our own industry and our own excitement with all of these features and not be able to put ourselves in the shoes of the prospects that we're selling to. And the average plumber, chiropractor, roofer, restaurant owner, they're not studying marketing. They're not studying all these marketing tools. They don't have the time to do any of that. They don't have the desire to do any of that. So we've got to be able to sell our marketing system and services in a way that's positioned to show these small business owners that we're solving their problems, that we're helping to improve their business and improve their life. And in order to do that, we need to be able to guide them through a conversation about what these marketing systems do without being so obsessed with the features. The features are really an afterthought. And being able to guide small businesses through what a marketing system actually does for them is another thing that I've seen that agencies are just not very good at. And in developing my own sales team, I had to develop my own frameworks that I would use to train my salespeople so that they would know how to sell our marketing systems correctly. And for years, I've offered what was called the R4 sales system. It is now an R6 sales system, upgraded based on some of these capabilities that we now have with HighLevel that I wanted to be able to articulate. And so I'm going to walk you through a couple of these frameworks here to just show you how this R6 system will turn you into a guide that can effectively explain what marketing is, what your marketing systems are, and what the benefits are of all this to these small business owners, and do it in a language that they'll understand instead of our feature techno jargon. Now, before I get into it, I do want to say that this entire system, all of the sales system, the scripts, the frameworks that we use, ads based on them, content based on them, a snapshot around all of this is all available in my high leverage agency program, which you get for free if you sign up for HighLevel through me or if you upgrade your HighLevel account through me. Either way, you get access to the entire thing. I'll put a link down below here as well as in the description of this video where you can go get all of the information on that. Okay, now let's get into this first R6 framework. Again, what we're trying to do is to guide our prospect into understanding exactly what we mean by marketing and a marketing system and what it is that we're going to do for them. A big mistake is assuming that your prospect even knows what marketing is. And my guess is that if you ask 10 different prospects what marketing is, you're going to get 10 different answers. And my guess is that the answer that you would give may be different from all of these as well. You may yourself have a hard time explaining what marketing is. That's what these frameworks are all about. So this first framework, what we're doing is we are guiding this prospect at a high level, no pun intended, on what it is that we're doing with marketing, okay? So 3 major phases. Marketing is about attracting new people to your business, converting them into customers, and retaining them as customers as long as we can. So that's 3 critical functions and phases of marketing: attract, convert, and retain. Now, down below here, you're going to see these keys to success. And that's the first time that you're seeing the 6 R's of this R6 framework. So underneath attract here, you're going to see reach and reputation, our first 2 R's. Reach simply means that we need to reach as many people as we can to attract them to our business. We have to get the message out to them to give something to respond to. So that's what things like ads are doing, or prospecting, or SEO. These are all things that can increase our reach in the marketplace. And then next is reputation. If we have a bad reputation, if there's a bunch of bad reviews out there about us, or we just don't really have an attractive message or offer, then our reputation is going to be low. And so if we're investing a lot of money in reaching these prospects and we've got a poor reputation, that's not a very good thing for our business. So we want to make sure that we're enhancing our reputation so that when people do hear about us, they're excited to learn more about our business or get in touch or stop into our store. Then in the second phase here, convert. We want to convert them into customers. We've got 2 more R's. The first one is readiness. Readiness simply means that we need to be ready to do business. Can they call us and reach somebody? If not, do we respond with a text back and get them engaged into a conversation? When they comment on our social media or send us a message on social media, does anybody respond? Can they book an appointment using an online calendar instead of having to call in and waste their time? These are all things that indicate readiness, that show that we are open for business and that we're actually responsive to these new prospects that are coming to us. Next is remarketing. We know that we're not going to sell everybody the first time, so we've got to stay in touch with them. So what are we doing to stay in touch with those prospects to convert them into customers over time? Then in the final phase of marketing, retain, 2 more R's here. The first one is reliability. Reliability is actually the one of these R's that you are not responsible for as a marketer. This is actually the reliability of the products and services being delivered by your customer. If you go into a restaurant and the first time it's really clean, the food is hot, it's fresh, it tastes great, the service is delivered with a smile, that's one experience and you're more likely to come back. But if you come back the next time and the food is cold, there was hair in your dish, the server was rude, the bathrooms are disgusting, that's 2 very different experiences. It's not reliable and you're going to lose business because of that. So the business that you're working with has to be bought into delivering a good, consistent, reliable experience with their products and services. Otherwise, you can do all the marketing in the world. It's not really going to help them in the long term. And then the final R here is reselling. If we want to retain those customers and keep them coming back and buying from us more and more, we've got to continue with our marketing activity to those existing customers to bring them back again. Okay? So in one very simple framework, I just explained essentially marketing in a nutshell for these small businesses in a very practical, easy to understand way. We need to attract people, convert them, retain them. These are the 6 R's that are the critical success factors in each of those phases. Now, what this does is this sets us up for framework number 2. Framework number 2, you can see we've got the 6 R's again here. We've got them stacked up in a pyramid to communicate some sort of hierarchy. Now, why is that? You'll see at the base of the pyramid here is reliability. Now remember, that was the one factor that you as a marketer are not in control of. This is on that small business owner to deliver a reliable product and service. This is a critical message when you're selling to prospects, that you are communicating to them, hey, look, we can do all the fancy marketing in the world, but if you're not taking care of your customers, that marketing is only going to be so effective, right? If you've been in this business at all, you've probably sold to some small businesses that are very unrealistic. They have businesses that are not compelling in any way at all, products and services that are not reliable, and they're expecting you to work miracles. This is a really important conversation to have, because if they don't agree with you 100% that that's their responsibility, you should walk away. That's not a good prospect. That's a waste of time, okay? They have to have the mindset of being competitive and taking care of their customers. Otherwise, don't work with them. Next, we've got reputation. Reputation, as you know, is foundational to the success of a business. We've got to invest in that reputation. We've got to maintain it. We've got to enhance it. We've got to nurture it over time. And there are lots of things that go into that. You may think of reputation just as reviews, and I think a lot of businesses do. There is so much more that goes into reputation. Do you have a good website? Is that website mobile optimized? When I try and contact you, does anybody pick up the phone and respond to me? If I send you an email, does anybody get back to me? All of these things impact reputation. Next is readiness. Readiness is, again, do you have the systems in place, the people in place to be able to respond to your opportunities in a timely fashion so that you can take advantage of those opportunities? Otherwise, you're missing out on ROI from your marketing investments, and you're actually damaging your reputation, because if a prospect decides to get in touch with you for the first time and you're not actually responding to them, if you don't have that readiness, they're going to think it was a waste of time. They're going to think that you're not really a business that's worth their time and their money, and they're going to go someplace else. Next is resell. Once we have this very solid foundation, reliability, reputation, and readiness, we've got to make sure that we are keeping in touch with the customers that we have and the prospects that we have to bring them back. That's resell and remarketing. And then finally, at the very top of this is reach. Okay? The very top of this, for the first time, we're talking about doing things like proactive advertising, spending additional budget to try and reach new people. This is probably exactly the opposite of what most agencies do. Most agencies are so obsessively focused on, here are the things that I can do to bring you new customers. Now, the problem with that is reach services tend to be more expensive. You've got to invest in advertising. You've got to invest in doing SEO campaigns or creating content. It's more expensive. It's more labor intensive. It tends to be more of a time and talent business model for those agencies. And because most small businesses don't have these other R's in place yet, most of the time, those advertising dollars are very ineffective. They're wasted because there's no good effective follow-up going on, or the businesses aren't ready to take those phone calls. They're not ready to respond with an AI chat agent or AI voice. They have poor reputations. They're not delivering a reliable product or service. So all of that money spent on reach tends to be a waste. And this is why most agencies in that typical agency business model get fired after a very short period of time. This is what Sean Clark, CEO of HighLevel, and his team saw when they started up HighLevel in this industry. They realized, wow, all of these lead generation agencies are churning their customers after 3 months. You cannot build a real business when you're churning your customers every 3 months. You've got to keep them for at least a year, or ideally 2 or 3 years. That's why HighLevel became so obsessively focused on these automated tools that we can help small businesses with to get them to escape that typical agency model. So framework number 2 here, what we're doing is we're communicating why it is that our marketing systems that we're about to sell them on are focused on reputation, readiness, resell, and remarketing before reach. And why is that good for you? Because now you're putting in a solid foundation of systems for these businesses that are all really the automated capabilities of HighLevel and assets that you develop, campaigns, landing pages, funnels, things like that. Now, once you turn them on, they're incredibly automated, high margin, and super sticky. Once a small business is in there using AI chat, using call tracking, using missed call text back, using the universal inbox to communicate with their customers, or they have a website that's up and running and funnels up and running that have proper lead capture and call tracking numbers and things like that and follow-up sequences that are being fired, small businesses don't want to leave that. They're going to stick with those things. Their advertising budget may come and go over time, depending on how their business is doing, but an affordably priced system that's that comprehensive is incredibly hard to give up once you're on it. So that's the focus of your sales effort, is getting that foundational system in place. And then if you want to offer reach services on top of that, you can. That's entirely up to you. Okay, so that's how you're going to have the conversation to explain to prospects what marketing is and how your system approaches marketing to make sure that they've got that solid foundation in place before they spend a lot of money on advertising services, which tend to be more expensive and ineffective if they don't have that foundation in place in the first place. So your system is that foundation. And that's why this is such a good business model when you take this marketing systems approach instead of the time and talent agency approach, is you're putting that system in place, very affordable price point, taking advantage of automation so that you still have really high margins and you're delivering this incredible value that's going to be sticky for years to come. Now, how is it that you actually structure your service packages? This is a very common question that I get asked, and I see a lot of agencies really overcomplicating this. So I'm going to share with you another resource here. This is my service alignment tool. This is from my high leverage agency program, again, which you can get all the details on down below on how you can get access to all of this for free. But the HighLevel service alignment tool now matches up the service capabilities of HighLevel and some other marketing services that are commonly offered by agencies, things such as doing LinkedIn ads or maybe direct mail for them or helping them with influencer campaigns. But for the most part, this list here that you see is all of these features and capabilities that you can offer using HighLevel, and they're matched up. You can see here the 5 R's that they're matched up to, not the 6 R's, because remember, the 1 R, reliability, is up to the business owner. The other 5 are your marketing system, and that's reputation, readiness, resell, remarketing, and reach. Your system is, for the most part, going to be focused on establishing the reputation, readiness, resell capabilities for that business. You can also help them with remarketing by doing things like newsletter campaigns, sending out SMS campaigns, doing retargeting, things like that. Those tend to be a little bit higher effort services. And then reach, you can also absolutely offer through Yext and soon SEO, social posting, Facebook ads, Google ads. You now have the ad manager in HighLevel. Again, those services though tend to require more budget from the small business, be a little bit higher involvement and maintenance from you. And so strategically, as a service provider, you really want to be focused in on the reputation, readiness, and resell capabilities as the foundation of your offer. And then the remarketing and reach, you'll have a percentage of your customers that may want to take you up on those services and you may want to offer them, but they are not the bread and butter anymore of your agency. Like so many agencies are out there trying to make those the bread and butter right now, and it's a big mistake. You want to have this system as the foundation. So the system, you look at the features and capabilities around reputation, readiness, and resell. These all tend to be very automated capabilities from HighLevel that once you put them in place, it's kind of set it and forget it. So we're going to map these capabilities to those R's that we just discussed with our prospect in those first 2 conversation frameworks. So now they can see here's exactly how we're bringing these R's to life for their small business with our system. Now, selling that complete system will work for some small businesses. There are some small businesses that just want to buy into that systems approach and get everything all at once. But a lot of small businesses need to have some sort of foot in the door offer from you to get familiar with you, to taste some of the things that you're doing for them, and then you can upsell them. And of course, it's a very common and successful strategy. So what are the foot in the door services that you can offer? Honestly, you could peel out just about any of the capabilities of HighLevel and offer them as standalone foot in the door services. But there are some that I found are really compelling and easier to set up and deliver. I love offering some sort of web chat or AI chatbot as a service. AI voice now, again, I think that's going to be such a hot service and a great foot in the door. Yext, free website plus hosting. Free website plus hosting is an incredibly hot offer that is very, very successful for me and many other agencies. Welcome Mat lead generation. So helping customers with just the simple tools, opt-in boxes, things like that are going to help them start building their list. The conversations inbox, that universal inbox connected with their social accounts and email. Missed call text back. And I love, for a lot of businesses, birthday funnels and a birthday resell campaign. You can set that up in HighLevel very easily so that you're attracting people on their birthday and giving them some sort of nice follow-up reason to come back in every year on their birthday. This is something that can be done with complete automation through HighLevel. Any of these services could be offered for $97 a month as a foot in the door, and then that allows you to now have that conversation to upsell them into your full service packages. And there are all kinds of ways that you can structure your service packages. But again, I see a lot of agencies really overcomplicating this and getting hung up on, well, what features do I offer and which package and at what price points, and shouldn't I hold back certain features and upsell those only at really high price points to try and get as much money as I possibly can from those small businesses? And I would encourage you to take a different approach, okay? What I'm showing you here right now is an approach that is based off of usage. Usage-based billing is now the SaaS billing model that's really taking over in most SaaS platforms. And what I mean by usage-based is that you're charging them for how many people are accessing and using the system, and you're charging them for the volume of activity in that system. Things like how many SMS messages are they sending every month? How many emails are they sending? How much of the AI credits are they using? Since those are all resellable capabilities in HighLevel now, we can structure our packages based on usage and charge them a fee that just lines up with how much they're using the system. So if they are using the system more, if they're adding more employees, or they're spending more on SMS or emails or calls through the system, the price naturally goes up, which makes sense because they're using the system more. So as their business scales, the price scales. This is a very, very simple way to get businesses on board using your system on the lower price side of things, so $297 to $497 a month, but give them all the features. Let them take advantage of the full platform. Why not? I want you to think about how HighLevel deals with you as an agency. They don't nickel and dime you on every capability. They give you a $97 to $297 or $497 plan, and those plans are all so loaded with all these incredible capabilities. Yes, they have reserved some things back at the $497 versus the $97, but for the most part, they're incredibly generous with what they're giving us. And why not take that same approach with your customers? I know you appreciate it from HighLevel. Do the same thing. Let them know, hey, look, we want you to have access to all of these capabilities so that you have this complete system. And then depending on how much you're using it, how big your business is, that determines the price point. It's a very fair way to sell, and it's a very simple way to sell. Now, you no longer have to worry about all the different features that you're trying to offer in different packages so that you can try and upsell and, extract as much money from each customer as you can. You can offer these very simple, very friendly packages. You're going to feel very generous to the prospect because you're giving them so much capability at such a fair price. And that's exactly the positioning that you want to have with them to retain them for years to come, which is the absolute key to this business model. Keeping your customers for a year minimum, but ideally 3 years, 4 years, 5 years is how you develop an incredibly profitable business model in this space. So be generous. Give them all the R6 capabilities. You can see right there, the blue line says all the R6 capabilities in your system. Whatever your system is that you've designed for them, give it to them, and then just adjust your pricing and the credits that you're offering so that as their business grows and they use it more, what they're going to pay you will grow as well. Okay, those are the 18 features in HighLevel that I'm incredibly excited about in 2025. You can sell them at very attractive price points for very high margins. They're going to generate recurring automated revenue and sticky revenue for years to come if you know how to position it and package it right, which I walked you through here with my R6 frameworks. I hope that this was valuable for you. I know it was a lot. I covered a lot of ground there. And of course, you can get full access to my systems and training for free if you sign up for HighLevel through me or you upgrade your HighLevel account through me. Either way, you get access to all of my training and content. If you have any questions, please post them in the description of this video. I answer them all personally, and I'd love to help out. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Please comment down below. Share it with somebody else that you think would get some value out of it. And I hope to see you in my community and in a future video. Take care.